So today and Wednesday and Friday, I'm going to be teaching you about neurobiology, okay? But first, I want to make sure, actually, can you sit up closer to the phone, if you don't mind? Thank you. First, though, before we transition to that, because the rest of the semester, we're going to be talking about organs, the body, but why did it take us up until now to talk about that, right? Why did we talk about DNA this entire time? Why spend a half a semester on DNA? Why is it so important? What's the point of DNA?
Because DNA is the basic structure of life.
DNA is the basic structure of life. Now, that sounds a little abstract. What does it do? The basic structure, what does that mean, basic structure?
It's the start of everything.
It's the start of everything. All right, it's the start of everything. True, still a little abstract. I want more specific. What does it physically do? Does it hold you up? Does it physically give you a structure?
It's the blueprint for your.
It's your blueprint. Okay. So what's important about DNA? Somebody here want to help them out. What do you mean by blueprint? This should be a review. What's a blueprint? Right? If I tell you you need to make a house, and I give you something, can you make a house just like that? Have you ever built a house before? I haven't.
I have.
Okay. So could you do it by heart, though? Could you do it without even looking at a plan at all? Maybe? Okay. All right. Pretty good. But most of us would need what?
You need
You said it. A blueprint, right? You need a code. So the whole point of DNA is a code, right? Now what's the code for?
It's your genetic code for you to be. What's the word?
To be what? Somebody here want to help him out. It's quiet side here. What's the point of DNA? What's the basic idea? What's the whole point? Why is it so important? DNA is to make what? To make you. Still very abstract. True, but abstract. I want something more specific. To make who? To make what? To make cells. To make what of cells? Still abstract. I want more specific. The structure. True. Still abstract. I want more specific. Even more. You're right, you're absolutely right, but what's the structure? What are we made of? If I touch this wall, I gave you a blueprint, you made this wall, but what is this wall made of? Is it made out of blueprint?
No.
It's made out of what?
The material.
The material. So what's our material? What are we made out of? Muscle, tissues. What are those made out of?
Cells.
Cells, true. What's more specific? What are cells made out of?
DNA.
Ah!
Not
DNA sits in there, true, but the walls, it's concrete, right? What's our concrete? What are we made out of? You're scratching it right here, you're seeing it. When I see you, what am I seeing? What is this? Skin? What's skin? Hair. What is all this? Cells, true. Close, come on. Proteins. We're made out of proteins, right? Everything you do, everything is based on the proteins. Everything. So you know this, right? But that's the whole point. DNA is completely useless if you can't produce protein. It's useless. No one cares. Unless you can make proteins out of it. What's RNA for? What's the RNA for?
RNA make DNA, RNA proteins.
Right, so it's the mediator. That one we don't even care about unless you make proteins either. The whole point is to make proteins. Okay? So we talk about organs, and we talk about cells that make up the organs. They're all producing proteins, right? Now, every one of your cells, do they all have the same DNA? Or do they have different DNA? Because you do have different cells, right? You have skin cells, liver cells. Do they all have the same DNA or different?
They have slight alteration.
Is that alteration? What's an alteration called?
A mutation.
A mutation. Do you have mutations everywhere? That's a slight alteration. Do you have slight alterations in all your DNA? Do you want alterations in your DNA? No, you don't want mutations, right? Sometimes it can be a good thing. Some people have good mutations. You know that some people that have a sixth finger, like fully functional, a sixth finger.
Yeah.
There's a whole
cut off 6 finger and a 6 toe. I mean, well, yeah.
If but sometimes it's like really small. We're talking like a full-on pinky.
She got hers cut off when she was born.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but you can play piano like crazy. So, okay. So do we have all the same DNA in every cell? Do we? If someone stole my marker, and I'm like, who stole my marker? And then you took it with your hand, right? But then you left it somewhere else. I want to know who did it. So then I'm going to take the DNA that was left behind, that was on your hand. Then I'm going to sample all your cheeks, because it's just easier to get DNA from there. Just to see if there's a match. Would your skin cell and your cheek cell have identical DNA?
Yes.
No? Yes?
How do you identify who took your marker?
Because that's how they do it, right? If someone commits a crime, they typically, I mean, it's not like they lick everything, right? They typically just touch things with their hands, right? But the thing is, when you take a sample, you typically have them spit on something, so it's like a cheek swab. So, going back to the original question, do you have the same DNA in every one of your cells? Yeah. Every single one of your cells is exactly the same DNA. All of it. Exactly the same. But then let me ask you this, why are all your cells different? If all your cells have the same DNA, why are all your cells different? What do they do? All produce different proteins. Why are they different?
Well, they have different functions.
Different functions. Very good. Different function. What gives them different functions?
The proteins.
Right? Yeah, a different set of proteins. Now, insulin is an example of a protein. Do your nerve cells produce insulin? Where's insulin produced? Do you know? It's okay if you
I
don't.
thought it was the liver or something.
It's the pancreas. But close. Yeah. So the pancreas. So I'd say, does your brain produce insulin? If I tell you the pancreas is the one that produces it, do you think your brain also produces insulin? No. Does your brain produce digestive enzymes? That's another protein. No, what do you produce that? Digestive enzymes. Where do you produce that? In your stomach, right. Do you want to produce digestive enzymes anywhere else other than your stomach?
No.
No, because you digest yourself, right? So every cell will choose to produce protein based on that blueprint. They can produce whatever they want. They can do anything they want. They have the whole code within them. But they're choosing certain parts to read. It's as if I give you an encyclopedia, you're not reading the whole thing, you're just going to the section you need. That's it. But you have the whole thing with you, right? Every cell has your entire code, all of it. There is one exception though, and that was pretty cool. There was one time on NPR a couple of years ago, a woman called in and said that she was telling the story how she failed a paternity test. She failed a paternity test. She. How do you fail a paternity test if you're the woman?
Because your uterus is a different DNA than the rest
Nope.
of your body.
Every single part of your body has the same DNA. How would that happen? How would she fail?
She gave birth to child.
She remembers that, so the first thing we think is maybe you get switched at birth, right? Maybe they switched the kids. So let me give you the assumption that they weren't switched at birth. She remembers giving birth. I mean, it's not something you forget, right? She went home with the kid.
Was she a surrogate?
Oh, that could be a good one. True. She wasn't a surrogate. Very good. Very good. That's the first time I've had that one. This one's a tough one. She failed it. But the thing is, her husband was the father.
Not the mother.
Wait, so you said paternal test.
Yeah.
That's the
Well, you
father.
said, I know, but the thing is you compare the two. I look at the mother's DNA, I look at the father's DNA, and I look at them. Typically, the mother knows if they're the mother or not. So that's why they call it paternity test. Because it's, the mother knows, right? But the father's always a question mark, right? But the thing is, this time the father was the father, but the mother was the question mark.
So she's producing eggs on her own?
Yes. And the thing is, when does that happen? What happened was, she was supposed to be twins.
Oh, I figured.
Yeah, she was